everybody. I'm slightly early, just about a minute early. But I'm Trace Nelson. Representing Black food folks for the second week of our very dope collaboration with Afropunk, talking about the politics of food. Last week was so amazing. So many people watched and retweeted and reshared, and really enjoyed the Vita. And so this week I'm so excited to be talking with Karen Washington, Mother Karen Washington, of so many organizations. Black Urban Growers Association, Rose and Roots Farms, and most newly, the Black Farmer Fund. So Miss Karen will be with us in a few moments. But I wanted to actually start out with Black Food Folks. Those of you all not following them, please check them out. Black Food Folks is a really brilliant collective of Black food professionals, creatives from really across the globe, but really focused on America. Every space in food is represented in the organization, and aside from this curated talk over on the Black Food Folks feed, there are some really, they've been going on, but this week in particular is some really dope conversations. Brian Terry, really brilliant vegan chef, is going to be in conversation with Nicole Taylor about his new book, Vegetable Kingdom. That's on Wednesday, so you all can go over to the Black Food Folks page and register for that talk. All the other talks are going to be live on Black Food Folks Instagram page, and so today there'll be Aretta Itar. She'll be in conversation with Kia Damone. Yes, Kia is a brilliant chef. She's run restaurants, and now she's the culinary director for Cherry Bomb. So that conversation is going to be amazing. So now I'm just waiting for Miss Karen. But if you all are, please, I linked Miss Karen's feeds. Please, if you're not already following her work, get into her, Google her. Karen Washington is the person with all the historical receipts about our sort of legacy in farming and legit practical tools we need to be listening to. So I'm going to bring Miss Karen in now.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
girl, trying to make it. I'm in the boogie down Bronx, so I'm
Yep,
trying to get ready to grow some food to feed some people.
that's right. So first of all, on behalf of Clay and Colleen and folks at Afropunk, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk with us and to take this hour, because I'm sure that not just now, but in your life, like the morning time, the sort of get up and go time is your most critical time. So to take this hour with us is so just this it's on par with who you are as a person. But I just want to thank you personally for taking this time with us.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Of course. So I know you from Black Urban Gardeners, and back the name has changed over years, but I've known you as an advocate and activist. And my first contact with you was your Black Farmers Conference. I was a young chef in New York, and it occurred to me so ridiculously that I didn't know any Black farmers, and there were all of these amazing empowered people I was finding in the Black farming world who just seemed so much, they knew something I didn't know. So when the conference came up, I said, I have to be in this place. And I was so concerned there were not more chefs in this place with me. And so over the years, preaching the gospel, what you created, has been such a joy. But I just want people to really understand how far back and how deeply rooted your work is.
Gosh, let me see the gray hairs. So I started growing food
No.
over 30 years ago. Listen to me, folks. I had no knowledge of growing food. My relationship to food was that my mom was a good cook. We had 3 meals a day. Food was from a grocery store. And it wasn't until I moved to the boogie down Bronx, had a backyard, and I decided, let me try and grow some food. I mean, 4 things I wanted to grow: You know how to grow collard greens. I had to grow some
That's right.
collard greens. That I grew collard greens, pepper, eggplant, because it sounded sort of funky, and tomato. And it was a tomato that changed my world, because back in the day, tomato wasn't red, it was pale. It tastes like cardboard. And when I saw that it grew on a vine, who knew it grew on a vine?
Mm-hmm.
It was red. And when I bit into it, it just changed my world. And then I
Yep.
wanted to start growing everything. Then got involved with the community garden movement in New York City and just took off from there.
Yep. And so I'm wondering, because I feel like so often we romanticize the world of sort of farming, right? Like this, this back to land movement. But I don't know that a lot of us are really ready and prepared for what that really looks like. And I'm wondering, because you retired from your first life as a healthcare practitioner, a physical therapist, doing lots of holistic work in that lane. And that was you degrees and life and just professional life on one side. But you literally went back to the land in 2015, right?
Yes. And I think for me, it was a calling, believe it or not. Sometimes folks, especially Black people, you get this calling inside to sort of go back to the land, because the narrative that was instilled in me growing up was like farming was slave work. And so when I discovered the hypocrisy of that, and the reason why we were brought here because of our knowledge of agriculture, folks, and that we were the ones who grew the food for this nation, fed this nation, developed a lot of its implements, a lot of its structures. We were the ones. And when you put that in perspective, it empowers you. And so you
Yeah.
dismiss that slave mentality that has been placed on us, and understand our relationship to land and the power that we have as agrarian people to growing food. And so, I listened to that little voice. It seemed like the ancestors were like pushing me, kind of push, get out there and spread the word, right the wrong, and make sure that people go back to the land, hold on to our land. We've lost so much land. Even now as I speak, Black people are losing land. We lose land. We are disconnected from the land. And we got to find our way back to the land, because that's who we are as agrarian people.
That's right. So talk to me about Rise and Roots, because I see your Instagram posts, y'all at the green market, and like the very hard, very serious work it is to sort of start a farm from ground zero, to sort of figure out what that looks like in terms of getting to market, to what the interaction is with you and the folks who are going to consume it. And in this moment, I feel like the work you do is so critical, so much more critical now. What was the transition like in terms of starting, and what is the day-to-day now given this moment?
So in 2008, we had like a women's retreat. So like 40 of us that were growing food, not only growing food in New York City, but some people had food businesses, and was 40 women. And we went on a retreat just to talk about our hopes and dreams. And 90% of us said, one day we want to farm together. We didn't know how that looked, but we wanted to farm together. And so in 2014, I retired from physical therapy. Jane retired she left just farm school. Lori was just coming back from California. And so we decided, you know what, we're going to get some land. Now, folks, getting land in New York City and New York State is hard. First of all, the closer you are to New York City, the more expensive land is. And so we went up and down the Hudson Valley. And it was hard. It was hard. First of all, Lori and I, we're Black. Jane and Michaela are white. And so, first of all, when we would go up and meet people, we would always push Jane and Michaela to the front, because how it goes. Black people look want
Yes,
that
ma'am.
land, they don't want to hear. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
right.
so they would open the door, and we would speak to people, and sometimes land was like, $500,000. One person wanted land, but you had to take care of their mom. Another person was going to give us some land, but we had to take care of their Christmas tree operation. So,
Right.
you know what? You got to put your dreams out to the open so someone can hear. And so I always said, every time I would speak or go someplace, somebody got to give me some land. Because, you know, I saw a lot of white young people getting land, and I didn't see
That
any
part.
black folk getting land. And so every place I would go, I would say, I got to get some land. Someone give me some land. And so I happened to sit next to a person who we were touring the Hudson Valley, because the Hudson Valley was just starting this sort of farm hub. And
Right.
so sitting next to him, talking about my dream, he gave me a telephone number. He says, call this number because, you know, they're starting a new project up in Chester. Now, you know, folks, how many times y'all got a number and you look at that number and you just put it down and you have that negative vibe that says, you know what, I'm not going to call because every time I call, I get something negative. But something says, Karen, call the number because you got nothing to lose.
Yep.
And I called that number, and the person said, yes, you know, if you and your friends are interested, we started this new program up in Chester, New York, and the rest is history. So we've got 3 acres of land. So it's 4 of us. We're 4 women. 2 of us are women of color, me and Lori. And then some of us are LGBTQ women. And so we come from New York. We say our slogan is that we traded our Metro cards for tractors. We're an hour and 15 minutes from New York City. And so we've been pumping it. And let me tell y'all folks, you know, even though farming seems so like this beautiful dream life, farming is hard. And right now, 3 of my partners are, because of this virus, 3 of my partners are up on the farm. I haven't been on a farm since March 15 because of the virus. I'm going up this week for the first time since March 15 because of the virus. But the 3 of them have been, you know, just putting it out there. And so, you know, this is our dream, and we want to make sure that everyone has a right to our food.
So I'm interested in, because talking about Rose and Roots, I mean, that's your business. That's, you know, that is, you know, is you trying to I'm sorry, Pat.
No, it's a for-profit farm. It's not non-profit. It's a for-profit farm because we want to find a way to make farming profitable, because right now 90% of farmers have second jobs. You know, second jobs. And so hopefully through this pandemic, there is light at the end of the tunnel, that people now understand the importance of farming, importance of growing food, and really understand the cost and value behind that. And really understand that when you're paying a farmer for their product, it's because there's so much work behind that, and you appreciate what you're getting. We practice organic. We grow organically. We don't use any pesticides, but it is hard work. And so when I talk to my people, and I always say that, you know, when they sort of like, well, how come I got to pay so much for this? I got to tell them that there's a cost and value to the work that I do to bring the fruits and vegetables down to the city. And so people understand that you got to talk to our people, because I live in the Bronx, because we have 2 farmers market, one in Union Square, and the other one on down in the Bronx that I've been doing for like 17 years. And sometimes I got to speak to our people about the cost and value of food, because I'm in a food apartheid situation where I'm surrounded by fast food, junk food, processed food, a charity-based and subsidized food system of food pantries and soup kitchens, which are now, this is what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be stepping up in an emergency. But prior to the pandemic, it was like people's grocery stores. And so why would they pay for my goods when they could get stuff for free? So now I hope people learn and appreciate the value and cost of food. And at the end of the day, when this pandemic is finished, people appreciate that the most important thing that we need to think about is food and water. Those are the 2 things.
Yes, ma'am. So that is perfect segue into Black Farmers Fund, because I think a big part of the work I've always been most impacted by from you is how you're able to translate the sort of, not the plight, but sort of the hard rooted work of farmers to the larger culture, right? And I feel like in a lot of ways the conference did that. But last week when I was talking to Davita Davidson, like some of the viewers were sort of asking in a very sort of tight timeline we couldn't really address, but like what are tangible ways we can support, and if we're not going to get back to land ourselves, how can we support? And it feels like Black Farmers Fund is like a really particular innovative way that we can all sort of help.
Yeah, so we started a Black Farmer Fund. We're going into year 2. Like, it came out of the Stone Barns conference.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
hold
some
on now.
different.
Can you talk about that a little bit? Because I feel like
Yeah. So there was a Stone Barns conference. I think it was 2018. They
yeah,
had Mark Bittman and Ricardo Salvador just talking about food in general. And so Nadine, who's also a chef, Nadine
Nadine
Nelson,
Nelson.
right,
Yeah,
stood up and asked a question because the way he was talking about it, she wanted to know, like, well, what are you doing? What are you doing to stand up, for people, especially people of color? Like, what have you done? And so he was
yeah,
saying, like, what do you mean what I've done? And so everyone was like taken back by that statement because she wanted to know, you talking about food system, you talking about this and that, but she wanted to know, what have you done intentionally to move the food system so that it's more inclusive and more,
yeah,
and so he couldn't answer. He was like, well, what do you mean by that? And so everyone was saying, like, basically, what have you done to make sure that the food system is inclusive? And
right,
so Black people got up and said, you know what, it's time for us to take back our narrative. It's time for us to talk about the issues that affect us. So we commandeered a room and we started talking about us as Black folks. Why is we always got to be surrounded by nonprofits that are white led,
yeah,
to sort of talk about our issues? We need to talk about our issues ourselves and find our own solution. And
yeah,
there's so much power that we have, and yet we have relinquished our power to outside organizations that are mostly white led. And so during that conversation, we started to talk about what's missing when we talk about the food movement, and it's
mm,
ownership, it's financial literacy, it's
yeah,
understanding how do we look at ourselves in terms of social capital and communal wealth, because those things that I talked about in our community. And so we got together. I met this person named Olive. We call her Olive. And so she has really, really spearheaded this in such a way because it's Olive,
She based out of North Carolina, right?
right, out of North Carolina, definitely Olive Watkins. And so, we got together to put this idea out there. It's like, why is it that as Black people, we don't think about our own selves? And so we decided we're going to start this charitable loan fund that is going to invest. We're going to start in New York State because we don't have the resources to do this nationally, but we
Mm-hmm.
figured let's start in New York State because let's look at the food system in New York State.
Yeah,
57,000 farmers in New York State. Only 139 are Black. What? When you like,
wow,
come on, y'all. I know you're fainting in the background. I know you're fainting. And so again, opening Pandora's box. A lot of people didn't know that. And so, I mean, so where are we in the food system? Are we just the consumers? Where is our money going? And so we decided we want to start this fund basically in New York City that would invest in Black food systems, entrepreneurs, chefs, education, growers, you name it. And so the mission is, and the vision is for us to do this fund because right now a lot of Black businesses cannot go to our bank, especially Black farmers. They can't get credit. They can't get credit. They're drowning. And we as Black folks can look at what's happening with the system now. People who are self-employed are trying, Black business self-employed, trying to get online to get these loans and can't get through. So what
right,
we're trying to do is start this fund whereby people will put money into the fund, especially as part of reparations. We're going to take your money. You know what I'm saying? We're going to take this 2-tier system, accredited and non-accredited system, whereby people with money can put into the system so that money can be used for farmers or businesses to get started. It will be
Right.
grants, it will be loans. Right now, we are developing the structure on how it will work. But at the end of the day, it's not about also investing, but it's also the strong educational piece that we need to know as Black
Yes,
people.
ma'am.
How do we
Yep.
invest? How many times all our money never stays in our community? We as Black people are rich when it comes to communal wealth, but yet
Yeah.
that wealth, that monetary wealth is dwindling. 10 years from now, Black people have no wealth because we haven't invested within our community. We go out of our community with our dollars to buy things, and we don't build within our community because there's not structures in place. Gentrification pushes us out. And so now we have to sort of relearn and understand within our community how powerful we are, how to make sure that that money stays in our community, but it's building businesses.
Yep.
It's teaching young people how to invest. It's changing the capitalistic element of society that has been so extractive. It takes our money, it takes our wealth, and it never rebuilds it back into our community. And
Yep.
so we're starting this, folks. Y'all got to jump on board. We're starting this because at the end of the day, we want to build Black wealth. Black wealth in a way that doesn't extract, but empowers Black people and Black businesses. And as these Black businesses grow from farmers to entrepreneurs to stores and stuff like that, they will then reinvest back into our own community.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so that money stays, it grows, and then each one teach one. And so what we're going to try to do once we get this, all in place, aligned, what we learned in New York State, we're going to pass it on to Philly. We're going to pass it on to Detroit. We're going to pass it on to Baltimore. We're going to pass it on to Oakland. So at the end of the day, there'll be pockets of Black businesses, and funds that have our faces, our names, and then we can base build. And that's what we're trying to do.
Yep. So, I mean, the email you sent and really the sort of the ethos that you're trying to sort of get through is we have in community so many experts. Like we have folks who are gonna, who have the insights into funding, in terms of nonprofits, in terms of how to structure your bit. There's all those elements that you're gonna need if you are gonna be a hardcore farmer. But I feel like there's also within that structure so many lessons that folks who maybe aren't gonna be the farmer directly, but are food and food adjacent could add and sort of bring to the table. So how can people get involved? Because I feel like there's this sense of like there's a empowering feeling when you have tangible tasks, right? Like, so what is your vision for what participation looks like, for what this first round of funding would look like, and what folks' resources could look like to pour into Black Farmers Fund?
Okay, right now we're in the process of thinking about doing a pilot, taking
Mm-hmm.
$50,000 and doing a pilot. But yet, which is really important, and this is why we're trying to put it out, we want it to be the voices of community. So we put
Yeah.
out an invitation, chefs,
Yep.
business people, farmers, to come around, because this fund is not my fund. It's not
Yep.
it's a community fund. And so we need community voices on the structure of that, what that farmers fund is going to look like, and
Yep.
then how are we going to give those grants or those loans out. And that takes community involvement. And this is why we're
Yes.
doing it. We're not keeping it to ourselves. We need the voices of the community. How do we structure this? Who is the best, group or farm or organization that's fit for? And we need people's ideas. We're
Yep.
not doing this fund just to say, Karen is doing this fund, Oliver is doing this fund, Dennis is doing this fund. No. This is why the messaging is changed, because we need the community to help us with this fund. How are
Yes.
we going to, we can get the money, but then how do we deliver it in such a way that it's fair, it's just, it's equitable, and it has different voices? And so
Yes.
what I want people to do is, number one, is to, first of all, from the very beginning, y'all gotta think, if y'all can start growing some food, y'all gotta start growing some food, because that's the most important thing.
Yes.
Also, find out, where the Black community gardens, and get involved in growing food. Find out who the Black farmers are, the Black businesses are, Black chefs. reach out to our people. Make sure your dollars are spent in our community that have our faces. And so get ready to align yourself, because it's going to be a whole educational piece on how we do in terms of investment. And so we have a website, blackfarmerfund.com. We're trying, .org, I'm sorry, .org. And so
Yes.
just, we're taking baby steps because we want to try to do this right. Right now, Olive and I are on this 18-month program with Boston Impact, because we're learning the language around investment. Because look, I'm a farmer, I'm not an investor, but heck, I'm going to find out what the language is that I can use. And so just follow us, just be proactive. If you can grow food, grow food. If you can cook, make sure that, share with your neighbors. Right now, these are hard times, folks. And back in the day, in my community, when I had children, it was like, look, you knock on so-and-so's door and see if they need something from the store. And we got to do that, Black people. We got to do that. We got to take care of our people in the hood. These are trying times. And at the end of the day, you know who's suffering? We're suffering. So that we got to put on our Black Power capes and our hats and go, you know what? We're going to make sure that our people in our community are fed. And if that means every time we go to the store, we buying a little extra because Miss So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so needs a little extra. Or we're cooking food, you knocking on that door to say, did you eat something today? I made a little extra. This is a time, folks, when community is important, because we're gonna get through this. But we got to make sure we get through this so people understand our power, because right now they understand who's the most powerful people. It's the middle class, it's the poor that have been doing all the work. The nurses, the home health aides, the people that be cleaning the streets, people behind the scenes, the janitors, all these people that have been doing the work for so long, the mail person, the grocery store clerk, all these people. Now you see, but let me tell you one thing. Let me just tell you, I'm gonna give you some advice. I'm putting my Mama Karen hat on. Is that everybody should be universal health care. You're not going back to work unless everybody has universal health care. There's universal child care. Everybody, you want us to work? Universal child care. And number 3, think about it. Right now, this is a moment where the middle class are so powerful. When you go back to work, a bunch of you're going to go back to work. You know what? I need to be part owner of a store. You know what I'm saying? Give me some leeway where I can have a share of the business, own something of the business. We got to start, because we cannot go back to the way things are. If we're going to move forward, then you know what? If you need me in your business, how can I be part owner of that business? How can I have a share of that business? And we have to look at it like that. It's a new day. It's a new day. Do not fall back to business as usual, because right now people see the power that we have. And if you want us to come and work, then where is our power? Where is our power in the decision making? And where is our power in ownership?
Yes. Miss Karen, they going off in the comments like preach Karen, preach Miss Karen. So I mean we have a little time left. I wanted, who do you like? I mean, you are Rose and Roots is brilliant and is going to market every week still. I wonder who you, because I think Afropunk's audience is global, definitely national, but certainly global. Who are you? Who are the folks getting it right? Who are the folks like? Can you sort of give us examples like people can follow right now who you think are like have the answers, have the blueprints across the country?
So we do the Skillshare every other Sunday. The next Skillshare is coming up, I think June 3rd, I think. Okay. It's coming up, where it's a national base. And so what we talk about is we have guest speakers, that talk about the virus, but also talk about healing, ways that we can heal ourselves because of this pandemic. Also, what is happening around the food system, what is happening in terms of culinary skills and it's just sharing skills. And we also have a spreadsheet that you can see exactly like who is doing what.
Yep.
I got my homies out in Detroit.
Yes.
Malik is out there, you know, come on, y'all. He's out there. Yakini, he's doing excellent work.
Ma'am.
That's my brother in charge. I got my girl Kelly Carlisle out in Oakland that's doing a lot of work. There's so many people. Dara
Yeah.
Cooper is doing such
Yes.
great work. You know that. Davita, that's my girl. You mentioned her. Davidson,
Mm-hmm.
she's doing great work. There's so many people out there. Leah Peterman, hello, y'all. You
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
SoFi Farm doing great work. So there's so many people out there that is doing great work. But also there's so many people that don't have that famous name. You know what I'm saying? And that's who I try to help. I try to
Yes.
help not the people that you know all about, but look into your neighborhood and give those people a shout out, because
Yes.
sometimes we always get the recognition, but at the end of the day, I always try to bring the people like my Francis Perez that I know is out there doing a lot of work. Who else is doing? There's so many people. Yemi is doing from Oko Farm. She's doing great
Yes.
work. Mama
Yes.
Yarn, out in Brooklyn is doing so. There's so many people that are doing work. They don't get the notoriety that some of us get, but I make sure I uplift their voices.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's important that we do that. It's important that you do that, because people who have a platform like I do, and so many of us have, we have to make sure that we bring along those voices that have not been heard, that we uplift the next generation. That's why now, my title now is Mama Karen. And I love that title because my job is to prepare for the next generation. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't say I made it. I can't say that that I'm great. If the people behind me are still suffering and no one knows
Yeah.
them. And so
Yeah.
my job is to bring along, to open that door. To open that door for the next generations, to kick that son of a gun door wide open.
Yeah.
And for them to take back their power, because people, we are powerful people. Somehow along the way, there was a veil over our faces, but that veil now is uplifted. Get that veil out of the way and take that power. You got land. How many of y'all got land down south? Y'all got land in the Caribbean. Y'all got land in Puerto Rico. Y'all got land. And y'all say, I ain't going back to that land. Y'all better go back to that land, and y'all better hold on to that land, because land ownership is power. Power. I don't care. Find a way to pay those taxes. Find a way
Yeah.
to keep that land, folks, because that land goes from generation to generation to generation. And so that's what I want young people to understand. And let me tell you one last thing. We came
No.
here. We came here. We were forced here. Forced here. You know what I'm saying? We came here in chains, but we had seeds in our hair. We had the knowledge of agriculture. We had the sickle cell trait to fight malaria and diseases. And we were the ones that built this nation. Don't let anyone tell you that we did not. And so I want us to take back our power, our knowledge of agriculture, our knowledge of culinary cuisine. I mean, come
Yes,
on,
ma'am.
folks. Every time I see like a barbecue show and stuff like that, I see all these answers like, wait a second. Yo was in the White House. Yo was in the hot house. We was out in the fields farming and cooking. You know what I'm saying? And so we got to get that recognition. We got to take back our culinary skills,
Yes,
our
ma'am.
culinary flavors, our recipes that have been taken from us and given no credit whatsoever. And so there's a lot of things, folks. And young people, I love my young people, because you know what? They're non-apologetic. They don't care. They understand the power that they have. And so, listen to me. The door is wide open for us. This is a new day. We're not going to go back. The pandemic has showed that we can't go back. So how do we move forward in such a way that it has, this time it's totally different, because we're the ones with the voices. We're the ones that are powerful. We're the ones going to take back this food and farming system with our faces and our voices.
That's right. Amen.
Ooh, child. You done got me going early in the morning, child.
This is the way we need to set people up for their day.
Ooh.
Now, so Black Farmers Fund, people,
Mm-hmm.
blackfarmerfund.org, people can go
Uh-huh.
to and check
Uh-huh.
out and read what the sense,
Right.
what the
Check
sort of
out.
the
Uh-huh.
ethos is. There's the space for donation, also a space for sort of getting more information and figuring
Right.
out whether you have something to add to the collective for this first round
Right.
of collaboration. I feel like you said Skillshare. That's the Skillshare website, the platform.
Right. The Skillshare, I'll have to give it to you later because right now
Yeah.
it's through we put it out on Facebook page. If you
Hmm.
go through Soulfire page, Facebook
Yep.
page, it'll
I just
give
want
you
to
the
make sure people know where to
information.
go and look. So if you all go to Soulfire Farms Facebook
The
page and
Facebook
social
page.
media feed, you
And
can
you'll
be
get
able to
that
find it
information
because
about
I'm
the
sure that's brilliant.
right. And also Soulfire has reparation map too. For
Okay.
people who want to, donate land or ask for skills. Yes. So with the Black Farmer Fund website, so right
Yep.
now we're in the process of getting our 501c3. Fingers crossed will be coming soon, but with the government down, who knows? So Pleiades is our fiscal sponsor. So if you go and you press donate, it'll take you to the Pleiades page, but then it'll say options, and you click option, you see Black Farmer Fund, and you click on that. And so let me tell you something. My cousin, who is out of work, gave $3. Now you say to myself, $3. Let me tell you something. If Black folks gave $1
Yes.
across the station, we have millions of dollars, and that's what people don't understand.
Yeah.
You got to walk the walk, and you got to talk the talk. You just can't sit back and be complaining. If you're not active, and people, you
Oh.
got to be proactive, not reactive. When you're
Yep.
reactive, things that happen. You got to be proactive, be out there, and make sure your voices are heard. And then the last thing too, please, when we do this work, when I do this work, I always come from a place of love. Come from a place of love. Giving thanks to the ancestors, the people who came before me, asking the power and the strength of Almighty God to do this work, but always from a framework of love, because hate and bitterness, it's a cancer. We don't want that in our movement. We want to go forward from a place of love, because that's what we do as Black people. Love and healing. Ain't no time for that rhetoric of hate and envy and jealousy, all that stuff, the crabs in the barrel mentality. No. We got to do this together. And those that need help, we have to lift them up and help them along the way. And we have to change that mentality now. Now is the time for us to work together.
Yep.
Place of love, community, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. When Dr. King said mountaintop, baby, we're going to be on the mountaintop yelling and screaming for our people.
Yep. Yep. Miss Karen, I mean, I feel like I want to see if there's some questions. But yeah, I'm sorry. I want to make sure I didn't misspeak. You said people should be looking at the Soulfire Farms Facebook page or the Roots and Roots. Okay.
Or their website,
Yep.
and they'll
Okay.
let you know when the next Skillshare meeting will be.
Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, y'all have calls to action. Soulfire Farms, you can donate there and talk about look to Skillshare. You can go to blackfarmer.fund.org, donate and keep current with what's happening with the development of that. You can also definitely Rise and Roots Farms
Rise and
follow it
Root
for the second.
Farm,
Yes, ma'am.
riseandrootfarm.com. Hopefully, when this pandemic is over, come and visit us. We have community days where people come and put their hands in the black dirt. We're in the black dirt region. And so, baby, get ready to roll up your sleeves and do some work.
Yes. We had a question somebody asked whether you all, yeah, Ms. Karen did say it. Like the coalition that Black Farmer Fund is really looking for is across disciplines. It's farmers, but certainly chefs and certainly activists, writers, organizers, everybody
Right.
that has some gifts to give to this collective should try and get involved.
Right. So we put it on our website. We're reaching out for the first round. We're reaching out between 7 and 10 people. We want to try to make it small, 10, and across all genres, in terms of chefs, in terms of farmers, in terms of businesses. because we want to try to do this pilot. We want to try to do this pilot,
Yep.
and we need input from our community. Again, it's New York. You know, the focus this time for this fund is New York
Yeah.
State based, because we want to make sure we get it right. You know, we also, let me
Yep.
tell you what we're also doing too on the back end. So we also have this group called the New York State Farmers. Now, you know, New York State Black Farmers. This is
Okay.
another group that we're going to. This is another group in terms of political group, because we're going to our governor. Before the pandemic, we were going to him asking him for $10 million. $10 million to be specifically for Black farmers, because, like I said, out of 57,000 farmers in New York State, only 139 are Black. We get no resources, no funding, nothing. And so before this pandemic, we had a meeting with the Secretary of Agriculture back in December. And then what was moving forward was, okay, the governor wanted to step in and develop this sort of group. And so we said, So right now, since everything is, you know, everything is on hold,
Yeah.
what we've asked now is that we sent out a one-pager to all the Black caucuses in the city, in the state,
That's right.
everybody, to make sure that this is on their radar. Because once this pandemic is over, we got to make sure that Black farmers get what they're supposed to. We get nothing.
Right.
And so we're asking for $10 million specifically in the hands of Black farmers
That's
for
right.
land and for equipment, because we got nothing. So that's another thing we're working at too. So
You're busy, Miss Cal. You just
it's
and
the
the thing about
ancestors, y'all. It's the let me tell you something. Y'all gotta sometimes, when you sit and reflect, you in your backyard, you in your apartment, you in something, you gotta listen to the ancestors who are saying, Black people, wake up and get back your power and be proactive. Right now, our people are hungry. They're starving. This pandemic has affected so many Black and brown people. This is a wake-up call. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? How are we going to make sure that we feed ourselves when this pandemic is over? And it may last for years, and they talk about another round. Right now, we should be preparing ourselves to make sure that at the end of the day, we're never in this hole again. That we'll always be able to feed ourselves, grow our own food, feed our own families. And so this is a wake-up call for Black people to mobilize, grow something, cook something, learn something. So that at the end of the day, we're not at the slaughterhouse, what this pandemic has done to us.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Ms. Cal. I feel like every time anybody who comes in contact with you is always sort of washed over how joyful and positive and sort of empowered you are. And I feel like this moment, folks are so stressed and feeling so uncertain, but when you sort of root yourself, it almost makes it easier to navigate, because you have such a clear mission in mind, right? Like I feel like it gives you immediate best practices to sort of look to.
And I'm listen to me, I'm personable. I have my own website, Karen the Farmer, KarenTheFarmer.com. Y'all can always reach out to me. You know what? People reach out to me all the time, and I answer. Sometimes take me a little longer because I'm 66 years of age. But no, folks, you know what I'm saying? I understand what people are going through. If you can hit me up on my website, hit me up, just email me, and you know what? I will answer any questions you have. I'm there for you, give you advice. That's why they call me Mama K now.
That's great.
But this has been excellent. Thank you so much for inviting me to come speak. This has been absolutely excellent.
You so much. Thank you so much for doing it. I love you so much, and can't wait to put my arms around you and see you soon. But yeah, I'm so glad that people can find where to follow you, and I'll be mailing you about Black Farmer Fund myself. Just
better sign up there on it.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
Thank
bye,
you so
everybody.
much.
Okay. Bye now.
Y'all got your life. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get. I think Colleen and Clay have been sort of putting out a lot of the amazing resources that Miss Karen mentioned, but there'll be a list someplace soon. This has been amazing. Y'all just don't know how important Karen Washington is to all of us, not just the food community, but to all of us. So please follow her, follow the work Black Farmer Fund is doing, as well as Rose and Roots Farms. Also, later, like I said earlier, today over on the Black Food Folks Instagram feed, there's going to be Aretta Attar. She's going to be talking to Kia Damone. Those two young women are so brilliant and so fly and young and interesting. So that conversation is going to be at 4 p.m. I feel like there's one at 1 p.m. as well. But later on this week on Wednesday, Brian Terry is going to be in conversation with Nicole Taylor. That's going to be at 1 p.m., but that's over on Zoom. So if you go on the Black Food Folks page, in the bio, I believe there'll be a link to register for that one. But all the other ones are going to be on the actual feed. Colleen Vincent is going to be in conversation with the brilliant Adrienne Lipscomb at 3 p.m. on Wednesday. Osai Endolin is going to be talking to Stephen Satterfield from Whetstone Magazine on Wednesday as well at 4. So I think Colleen and Adrienne are at 1 p.m. tomorrow, and Osai and Stephen are at 4 p.m. on Wednesday. So it's a lot of brilliant, amazing, insightful conversations happening over on Black Food Folks. This is week 2, y'all. We did it. So next week, I am still confirming who's next week, but next couple of weeks, I've got conversations coming with Michael Twitty. I've got Shakira Simley, hopefully Matt Rayford. So we'll see. But thank y'all for watching. Please share and spread. We'll be back here. Coming soon. Yeah, I'll be back here next Wednesday at 1. I mean at 11. So thank y'all and thank you for watching, and please follow Miss Karen. Bye.